Welcome back, guys, to the channel with a One Piece chapter review of One Piece chapter 1060. This chapter had a lot. Let me start off with that. It was really a lot to take in. It had a lot of information that we didn't know about, or stuff that we actually didn't know about. And yeah, it both had some fun moments and some mind-blowing moments. So at the start of the chapter, we actually see the Straw Hats on the, I was going to say going merry, on the Thousand Sunny, where Robin is informing everyone about the newspapers. So a lot of stuff happened after when they were in Wano. Of course, they were there for like more than a month, so of course they need to catch up with a lot of stuff. So Robin is actually informing them about everything that happened outside of the world. Outside of Wano, inside the world. There they learn about Sabo's incident, where Sabo allegedly killed King Cobra. Now, no one in the Straw Hat crew buys that. They all are unanimously saying that that did not happen, right? But it does cause some stir or a little bit of an argument inside the crew. Because Luffy, of course, being as impulsive as he is, he immediately goes to say that they need to go and help Vivi out, right? Zoro asks Luffy, what are you going to do? Are you going to like bust in the world government building or something? Luffy says, hell yeah, obviously. And Zoro actually handling it very well as the right-hand man. Let me tell you that. Zoro actually has grown so much and is taking the responsibility of being the right-hand man like very seriously. Of course, we know that all the great captains like Goldie Roger, Luffy, Shanks, etc. are kind of impulsive. Like, Shanks may be less impulsive, but I still get the feeling that he kind of sometimes can be very impulsive, seeing how Ben Beckman reacted to him in last chapter with Marco. But anyway, let's not go there now. Zoro calmed everyone down, which was very good of him to do, because of course if Luffy went to the world government now, it would be a whole lot of a problem. But yeah, that was just a little bit of the part. They all know that Sabo didn't do it, and they are just wondering what the hell happened, wanting to go help Vivi. And Zoro actually just says that they need to trust Vivi and that she can handle her own. Now, do I agree with that? Not necessarily very much, because like we saw an incident like Ace before, right? And Ace, let's not forget, he was a Yonko commander. So Ace had a lot of power and still had the issues that we saw. So anyway, that was about the news that they got for Sabo. And of course there was a lot more information that they got in the newspapers. Robin then asks Luffy if he wants to know more about what happened, and Luffy, of course, being the free-minded spirit that he is, he says, no, if it's not something huge and important, it's okay, you can keep it to yourself. Robin, of course, being the informant, the information girl of the crew, something like that, has like the responsibility to know a lot of stuff and can filter what the captain should know and what not. There, of course, she takes a very wise decision and doesn't tell any more that happened to Luffy, as she doesn't want to overload him with information, because yeah, Luffy is not really at ease right now because of the Vivi stuff. So yeah, a very wise decision of Robin to keep it to herself, probably telling other people like Nami and stuff like that later on. But we don't see that, but we just kind of know, right? But there, after she asks that, Luffy just goes and lay down on the grass and just says that he knows that Sabo is not the one that did it because of his past and how he actually is compared to how he lived as like a royal or something back in their hometown. And then actually he is talking about an oath that he made with Ace and Sabo, and tells them about his dream. Now, at first, we all thought, or pretty much everyone would have thought, that his dream was just become the Pirate King, being the most free man in the world, probably wanting to go and throw the biggest party ever. And those were the kind of stuff that we actually knew that Luffy had as a dream. But apparently, it's not just that. His dream is bigger and more childish, so to say. Because in the flashback with Ace and Sabo, like when they were children, we actually see them talking about that, and we didn't really see Luffy saying it, but we all thought it was like being the Pirate King, and then they both reacted like, keep in mind, they were children back then. They both reacted by saying, come on, that's such a childish dream, give up on that dream, it's not gonna happen, and stuff like that. And actually we should have known that it's not about being the Pirate King, because Ace also kind of had that ambition. So yeah, I'm really wondering what it is. There are a lot of theories out there that say that Luffy wants to go explore the moon and outer space. I don't think it's going to be going that far. He does want to explore everything and everywhere, so also the Lunarians, their home, obviously, but I'm not really sure if that's actually his dream, because it just doesn't really make any sense that would be childish. Then there are a lot of other theories that become more serious, like he wants to destroy the Red Line to bring everyone together. Also not very childish, if you ask me. And then there are also theories that actually say that he wants to throw over the world government. We all know he is going to do that because of the Will of D. So it's not gonna be that, because he doesn't know about the Will of D. It's probably also not something that you actually know about, although Law actually does know about it. But yeah, I don't think it's that, because he kind of is a little bit too free-minded for that. He isn't taking it too serious, doesn't want to overthrow the world government because of slavery and stuff like that. He doesn't think about that, right? Luffy is not that big a thinker. He lives in the moment, he doesn't live in the future or whatever, right? But anyway, it will be excited to see what his dream actually is, and unfortunately we will not know that until like at the end of One Piece itself. So yeah, I'm really wondering what it could be, and there might be some good theories coming up of that, but I don't have any clue apart of the things that I just said. So after Luffy tells them about about his dream, which he, by the way, didn't say against anyone except Sabo, Ace, and Shanks in the past, we see the world government tapping in on Sabo's snail. He is not using a white snail to not get tapped in on. So Sabo is talking to the revolutionaries, and yeah, he informs Dragon that he saw something that is very that doesn't really make sense. There is an empty throne, so there was always a saying that there is no one king of the world, there is no king in the world, but he saw that it was different. Right? So he saw that the throne was not empty and there is a king, Imu-san. right? Um, so there he is actually saying some very, very dangerous information, as we see later on. Because the Gorosei also starts to know about this information and says that he's either unlucky or it is fate that he is in Lulusia. Why he is unlucky or if it's fate, I'm not sure, but maybe it's because it's one of the rebelling countries at the moment. There are like 8 rebelling countries who are capturing their kings and queens and princesses and whatever, so like we saw in Lulusia. So it appears that Imu-san is actually taking care of that behind the scenes. Why do I say that? He appears to be crossing a map of Lulusia out on a map, and by just crossing it out, there appears to be a very huge attack on Lulusia, right? So we see that the sky is becoming very dark, and then all of a sudden we see 16 rays of light, or laser beams, or whatever. It's probably going to be better to see in the anime what exactly it is, but it appears to be like a very strong attack. And we see it just decimate the whole of Lucia while Sabo is there. So that also makes me wonder, is Sabo dead? Because an attack of that scale is very hard to imagine that anyone would survive. Definitely after you've seen the impact that it actually had, just destroying a whole country. I cannot imagine anyone surviving that. Maybe Ace does survive it because of his Logia ability, but I'm not sure about that. So, also I'm wondering why those 16, why it's like 16 pillars of light, because I don't know if you remember, but Doflamingo actually had an attack that was called 16 bullets of, I'm not sure, 16 holy bullets or something. And now all of a sudden we also see those attacks of Imu-san. By the way, I'm not sure if it's from Imu-san or like an ancient weapon or something that the world government has. But anyway, the attack has 16 beams. So I'm wondering why it's those 16 beams. Is it like something that Doflamingo knew about? Because actually I'm also not sure if you remember, but when he was talking to Law, he was also talking about Law not being able to comprehend what kind of ability he has, what an awesome devil fruit he actually has, and that if Doflamingo had a fruit like that, he would be able to rule the world. Back then we did not know about Imu, I think, in Dressrosa. Yeah, I don't think we knew about Imu back in Dressrosa. So let's not forget that Doflamingo is a fallen celestial, or however you want to call it, like an old celestial. So he knows about the real, about the real rulers of the world. So also probably about Imu-san, and I think that Imu-san somehow has a similar ability to Law. Because also, I don't know if you remember, but when he was talking to Law, he was talking about being at one of 2 of the same powers. So was he like talking about the same fruit? Are there like 2 fruits that Law has, or does he mean something completely different? I'm not sure. But anyway, I think that Doflamingo definitely knew more about this stuff. So yeah, is he going to get killed because he has too much information? I'm not sure. Also, it will not be that easy to kill Doflamingo, but anyway. After that attack, the radio went quiet, of course, and we also see the Gorosei saying that they should tell the I actually had a misreading there. Not really a misreading, but a miscomprehending there in my live reaction. But after reading it, the Gorosei actually says that they should tell the tapping division, so the surveillance division, that there was no abnormality to report from Lulusia. And on top of that, they say that it never existed. So Lulusia never existed. So that also makes me wonder, does Imusama have the ability to erase history? And that would actually also make very much sense, because we know about the Void Century. Like, it's a piece of history that is not known by anyone. So it doesn't make sense that it's not passed down from person to person, because, like, you know, here we all kind of still know about past events and whatever in real life, because of the information being passed down from generation to generation. It might not be fully the truth anymore. Like, you should take history and history lessons with a very, very raw grain of salt, as in it's probably going to be filled with lies and stuff like that, but you still should have heard something about it, right? And about the Void Century, we don't even hear anything about it apart from the poneglyphs. So that is probably something that is in Imusama's power, to just erase history. Why else would a Gorosei say that Lulusia never existed? It wouldn't make sense. Big News Morgans would know about Lulusia, of course, being the world's white paper guy. He knows about every place in the world, I'm sure of. And yeah, it doesn't make sense. The other royals who were at the reverie should also know about the other kings in the world. So yeah, it's very weird that they said that Lulusia never existed. So it really makes me wonder if what I just said is true about Imusama. But enough of that. At the end of the chapter, we actually see the Straw Hats encountering a warm eddy current. So a warm eddy current is like when there is too much heat inside the ocean, so the ocean swells up and stuff like that. So apparently it can grow very big in the One Piece world. And by seeing that current, Luffy actually says to Nami, wait, I see a person inside there. And Nami's like, what? Are you crazy? There's no one in there. And even if there were, no one would be alive. And there, Sanji, number 4, says, yeah, I hear a lady in distress. And they're all like, what? So he hears a lady in distress, which means that she's still alive, right? So then Zoro, being the man that he is, goes and cuts the current in two. Chopper, who is wearing like a traditional Asian hat, gets blown away by the strong winds. Luffy, trying to catch him, also gets blown away, which was very funny. And yeah, after Zoro just sliced the current in two, we actually see Jewelry Bonney coming up, which I was very excited about, because I'm not sure if you guys know, but Jewelry Bonney is one of my favorite characters in the whole of One Piece. I actually also always thought that she would become a Straw Hat later on in the New World, but I kind of lost hope a little bit. And let me tell you why. The first time we saw her was in Sabo Archipelago. And there I actually thought that she would join the Straw Hats later on, already, after the first encounter. So the first encounter, we actually see her saving Zoro from the... what are they? The Celestials. Yeah, Zoro would slice up a Celestial or whatever, and yeah, by doing that he would get himself killed. So, of course, Jewelry Bonney, knowing who the Celestials are, I'm not sure how she knows it, but I've always thought that like she's like Akainu's daughter or relative or something, as Akainu did not kill her and actually talked to her like he actually knew her, and she also told Akainu back then, back when she was captured by Blackbeard, by fighting Blackbeard because of what she did, because of what he did, that actually she hated Akainu. So that makes me think that well, I don't know, maybe Akainu had like a child with I don't know, I'm just theorizing right now. Let's say that maybe Akainu had like a daughter with Ace's mother. I forgot her name. Portka's I forgot her name. So let's say that maybe she's like a half sister of Ace, which is why she went after Blackbeard because of what he did to Ace. So yeah, after that happened, I knew she was going to escape from the world government, and by doing so, I thought that, considering she lost her crew because of Blackbeard, that she would actually join the Straw Hat Pirates and maybe later on like free her crew from Impel Down again or something like that, because we know that her crew will not have been spared, just like her, and just being sent to the world government, right? Akainu is not that generous by sparing some pirates' lives, right? Even if it would be his daughter's crew. So yeah, considering everything that happened, a lot of information that we got and everything, and actually you could make 3 theories out of just one chapter. Considering all of this, I give this chapter a 5 out of 5. This is an instance of where I give the top score. It is not in every chapter that you can just get your mind blown like this and having yourself wonder what happened in this chapter, and not just about one instance but about 3 instances. Like, I'm very excited about 3 things that happened. Is Sabo dead? What is Imu-sama's ability to be able to decimate a whole country? And Jewelry Bonney, what happened to her? Who is she? Is she gonna be the new Nakama? I'm not sure. But anyway, this chapter was great, guys. This was a definite 5 out of 5. One of my favorite chapters this year, for sure. And yeah, I am very excited to see Jewelry Bonney in the next chapter, so let's hope that she will be there and that we don't get to skip to some other event again, or unless, of course, if it's about Shanks or Blackbeard stuff or stuff like that. I wouldn't mind skipping a little bit and seeing her later on. But anyway, that was about it for the review. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and that it made you wonder. Yeah, that it made you wonder about a lot of stuff, just like it made me wonder. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next chapter. Bye.